Sup guys and gals, I stole that intro from Mudahar. We've got a short reaction today. This is actually an Instagram reel that kind of looked interesting. You know, normally if I see Instagram reels or TikToks or YouTube shorts, I would put them in a short form video, but, you know, just from the glimpses of this short, it looked so interesting that I figured, you know, we'll just make it a short long form video. Fuck it, why not, you know? Besides which, I need content to make anyways, so that's what we'll be doing. There's this woman on Instagram Reels, and I guess you guys probably don't know who this is. I didn't know who she was either, and so I guess I'll show you her Instagram, or the Instagram that I'm getting this from. Yeah, I mean, this is the basis of her content, a vegan Marxist. Oh, that's incredible. And she seems to be doing a lot of activist stuff, it seems. And there's only one reason why any man would feel the need to say anything negative. I don't know. She seems to be a gun woman. Like, she seems to be, like, super pro-gun, I guess. So maybe she's a lefty that's pro-gun, free Palestine, you know? That sort of thing, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll just watch her latest short, or one of her latest shorts. It seems to be her most popular as well, because it garnered 653,000 views compared to the rest of her content. So, yeah. Also, another thing to note is that I had to do some weird shenanigans with DaVinci Resolve where I had to download this Instagram reel and edit the audio because for some fucking reason, all of her Instagram reels you can only hear on your left ear, which is really annoying. I don't know why she has it set that way, especially considering lately I've been having fucking issues with my right ear. And it's my TMJ, and I have to go to the doctor to get that fixed, whether it's an ENT or a dentist, so I do have a dentist appointment next week. Hopefully that resolves that. Ideally, I should get my wisdom teeth removed. But anyway, enough yapping. Let's just watch the fucking Instagram reel.
I have terrible news.
Whoa, terrible news. What's wrong?
I am quitting all affiliation with the brand called VenusGuard.
VenusGuard. Bro, that sounds like a fucking dildo brand. You know, it's like, I can't help but think of that one Duke Nukem parody where it's like, hey, I'm about to turn this Venus flytrap into a penis flytrap. I have to show you guys. Like, now that I brought it up, I have to show you. Oh my fucking god, it was this gem from back in the day.
The first time I masturbated.
Bro, it doesn't even sound like Duke Nukem. It sounds like fucking Markiplier putting on a voice. Maybe it secretly is Markiplier. I mean, I guess he did start an OnlyFans recently. Maybe on his OnlyFans, he's like fucking Venus flytraps or something. I don't know.
All alone with a Venus flytrap.
Anyway, let's play that from the beginning. Sorry, you guys need to immerse yourself in this audio.
The first time I masturbated, I was all alone with a Venus flytrap. And I said to myself, you know what? I want this Venus flytrap to become a penis flytrap.
Oh, this was such gold back in the day. I remember discovering this back in 2016. This was a gem. And this is timeless. I don't care what anyone says. This is a timeless audio.
And then I laughed at my own hilarious and witty pun for several minutes. After
several minutes, by the way.
After that, I said to the Venus flytrap, hey buddy, you know what's about to happen? And he was like, I can't speak or think because I'm a plant. And I was like, well, whatever, that's cool, bro. And then I shoved my cock right down its throat, and it started sucking on it. And I was like, yeah. Wait, no. This was a terrible idea. This is so painful. This was awful. Why did I do this? And that's the story of how my dick got bit off by a penis flytrap. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Oh, yeah.
Alright, well, I think that was a interesting audio. I guess I kind of forgot the latter half of that part. I always laughed at the first half of it and thought it was a gem. But, yeah, there you go. That's what the whole Venus company that I already forgot the name of, VenusGuard is the name, reminded me of immediately. Well, there you go. Enjoy that. Anyway, I tried to view VenusGuard's website to see what this, I guess, company or business is about, and it seems like their website is taken down, assumedly because of whatever allegations she's about to bring up in this video. So I guess we are relying on the AI overview. So that's what's gonna tell us about what VenusGuard's about. VenusGuard is a wearable internal device designed for women's self-defense against penetrative sexual assault. So I imagine you wear it around your vagina area. Developed to interrupt attacks without requiring special skills, the product aims to disable the assailant and collects forensic DNA evidence to aid in subsequent prosecution. That's pretty based. I mean, hey, fuck rapists, am I right? If only Tectone's ex-girlfriend had this on her at the time, right? The project is evolution and brand pivot of the original Rape Acts concept, adapting the terminology to bypass Western social media censorship and community standard blocks. All right, well, hey, I think that's a beautiful thing. Like, that's a good goal to have, but they got caught in controversy. Ironically, because they're supposed to be against sexual assault of sorts.
Because the man who owns half the patent decided to sexually harass me.
Ouch, that's bad. It's also very ironic because you would think that the person that owns this brand, like, would be against, you know, all this, like, sexual harassment, sexual assault, all that stuff. You'd be in favor of protecting women, and now, like, you see them doing this shit. It's almost like it feels like a front, man. This is why women can't have anything nice. That sucks. Assuming what she is saying is true. I mean, for all we know, she could be lying. But I guess given that they took down their own website, probably not a good sign.
The most shamefully ironic series of events, his behavior, especially recently, has gotten out of this world abusive. He sent me pornography in what I presume was supposed to be a joke, but absolutely nothing was funny.
Okay.
There was no consent, and he even insinuated...
What was the context of this conversation? Censored version of the receipts are incoming on the screen, okay.
...that the person in the extremely graphic pornography video would be me.
Oh, well, that's very weird. I mean, that definitely would be like a form of sexual harassment for sure, because it sounds like it was unwanted. But what was the context of this conversation? Okay. It's blank birthday. It's a person's birthday this weekend. I will try to get another video out for VJ this week, but I have to work 20 to 25 hours on my internet job. Just letting you know. Also, meeting on Monday. Relax, all good. Happy birthday. Greetings to blank. May he have his cake and eat it too. And then just a random fucking pornography video that I cannot show on screen. So, when we edit this, let's censor that out, please.
Here you go. There's also a solid string of other misogynistic behaviors.
So I just got a luck.
Okay, before we can actually listen to this, let's actually read. Hold on.
Behaviors.
Okay, let's try to actually read this. 3 boys who raped 2 girls and got away with murder, basically. There was some conversations beforehand. I assume that this is Telegram messages or WhatsApp. It's either WhatsApp or Telegram. But it's effectively the same post I make all the time. I am not upset with you by any stretch of the imagination, so I just got a lot of bullshit going on. When I get bullshit, and that's what this is from some fucking prima donna who, after 10 years, is selling tasers out of the trunk of blank. Okay. Before this, he yelled at me like this on the phone. Mind you, he's talking about a wonderful, wise woman in self-defense education who said his comments were inappropriate. Because I was so tired of him, I didn't even catch these messages until recently. Alright, so let's actually hear the audio of what he has to say. I kind of wish we could see some of these conversations beforehand, but it is what it is.
So I just got a lot going on. But when I get...
Oh, he fucking just reads it anyways. I'm actually gonna fucking, like, I'm gonna commit war crimes. Fuck me, dude.
Bullshit, and that's...
Don't do that, by the way. Don't commit war crimes. War crimes are bad. Don't do that.
What this is, from some fucking prima donna who, after 10 years, is selling tasers out of the trunk of her car at the county fair, at the flea market. She should be fucking begging us to be able to promote VenusGuard. And
wow. Okay. This guy sounds a little bit entitled.
then I have this prima donna numbnut who thinks her fucking shit doesn't stink. I'm sorry. I've watched a dozen of her videos. They all come across as very self-righteous, very pompous, very pious, very my shit doesn't stink.
White men are not doing it.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, that's, that guy sounds very entitled. I assume the person he's talking about in that video is her Instagram, because she has like a lot of like leftist reels or whatever.
These crimes. White men are not running grooming gangs up and down the country. White men are not doing that.
That absolutely proved to me that he cannot ethically be associated. He is definitely...
Well, what was the point of this last clip? What the fuck? I went through his likes 2 days ago and I found a lot of stuff like this, and this was my point of no return. So wait, what the fuck? Hold on.
White men are not doing these crimes. White men are not running grooming gangs up and down the country. White men are not doing that.
Isn't it a majority of white men, though? Or, I could have sworn, isn't the, I guess, like, the way he's communicating it, wouldn't he be, I guess, because, like, the whole grooming gang shit in the UK is weird, because a lot of right-wingers have tried to use that to blame it on the fucking Muslims. So is that what this guy's take is, I guess? Is this guy, like, a right-wing person? What is his name? Michael Maisie? Oh, okay. So I did a little bit of research on this Mike Maisie guy, or Mike Maisie, and he is a author of this book called Young Offender, and I did some research on Young Offender. It's kind of like an autobiography, where basically he talks about his life growing up, had a bad alcoholic father, you know, God bless, that's never easy to go through growing up. And he basically became like an armed robber at the age of 15. You know, he spent some time in prison. He became the UK's most wanted. And now, you know, he went on like a redemption arc. And that's basically what the book is about. Sounds like an interesting book until you find out that this guy is just like some anti-woke person. So just from a couple of videos, I guess I'll just show you a couple here.
One of these woke lefties sent me this video of the mosque being burnt down in Dublin, saying, this is your fault. This is your fault for speaking up about it. This is what happens. And here's my response. Where were you when this church was being burnt down?
I don't know what this church was. Is this the Church of Notre Dame or something? I'm not in the UK, or I'm not in any fucking European country.
Or this church. Or this church.
Interesting. I mean, he, this guy is like a dunk on the lefties. There's a couple of others. Really wish she would have shown the full context to this short, because this is the short that she showed in her video.
I am sick of you woke lefties.
Woke lefties, yep. So I don't think she showed that context in the beginning. It would have been helpful to have that in the beginning. But the rest of this short is just the one that she's already showing us.
Keir Starmer is gone. Massive win. But let's not celebrate too soon, because what we might be getting in replacement could be much worse. And my question is it fair for one of his pals just to rock up and claim the seat in the most powerful position in our government?
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm not fucking educated on UK politics. I wouldn't know. It's like fucking Nux Taku talking about American politics when he's a fucking dual citizen of Israel and Canada. Whatever. You guys get the idea. This guy's like some weird anti-woke person, I guess, in the UK. Whatever. That's just him, I suppose.
The country, white men are not doing that.
That absolutely proved to me that he cannot ethically be associated. He is definitely not the right guy.
He is definitely not the right woman. Whoa. Not right guy, not right woman?
Spent hundreds of hours unpaid building a consent awareness campaign that was working. And
well, did you know that it was unpaid work? Did you know that you were getting into unpaid internship or something, or like an unpaid like labor or something? Did you agree to it? Was there like a contract or like a thing you had to sign letting you know, yes, this is unpaid and you will not be paid or whatever, something like that? I don't know. Like, would that be like, I don't know. I wonder if we're like getting some missing context from this. Like, the sexual harassment shit is obviously terrible, and like the vibes that I get from that guy is very weird. He definitely seems like a very strange guy based on what I've heard. But like, what is the context of that? I feel like we're getting some missing context here.
Part of me wants to say that he threw it all away, but he wasn't capable of facilitating that to begin with. It was already difficult to agree with him on the ways that the brand should be marketed, but
yeah, he sounds like a pretty difficult guy to work with. That's believable.
I was really doing the large majority of the work. 100% of the design was mine, and 100% of the content posted was mine. He is definitely not qualified for a consent awareness campaign. I will have my...
Yeah, he doesn't sound like it. I mean, if he's sexually harassing women, but then he's, like, trying to do a fucking consent awareness campaign where he's, like, trying to be like, women should be able to protect themselves from sexual assault, and then he's sexually harassing women, you should be held to a higher standard because you're advocating for these issues and then you're doing the same shit behind the scenes. That's especially not just bad for your branding, but it also makes it feel like the whole fucking product is just like a shield from that. Like, it feels like you're just using the product to try to get away with your bad shit. So the only reasonable thing they can do if they want to have hope for their product to succeed is for this guy to step down and then to have somebody else take it over, somebody who won't do this shit behind the scenes. That's probably most likely what needs to happen. I mean, she stepped away first, which I mean, good for her safety, but still.
A full resignation letter and a list of all of those unbelievably shameful and ironic behaviors linked in a document on my profile, which I would love for everybody to know. And this is absolutely not the last time that I'll talk about this, but I definitely needed to let everybody know, so please share this so it gets around to everybody who might have supported or donated. He was also served a cease and desist by the other co-owner of the patent, who is an elderly woman. And if you donated, I just want to say, do what you will with this information. I don't think that he's using that money appropriately.
Yeah, probably not. And also, if the co-owner is an elderly woman, then, yeah, I feel like the only right thing to do would be for him to resign and then the woman to take over.
So it should really be a wrap for him. But there's still steps that I can take. Please go read that document in my bio and stay tuned for any updates, because this is definitely not the last time that I'll be talking about this.
Alright, well, that was that, I suppose. I guess we'll take a brief look at our document and maybe see if this is worth following up on. Alright, I mean, like I said, we're invested in this story, so I feel like the only way we're going to get the complete story to this whole VenusGuard situation is if we read the Google Doc that was provided in the link tree. It's about 6 pages long, which is such a nice fucking change compared to some of the Google Docs that we've read on the channel. Like, 6 pages for a Google Doc. Like, we went from reading 1,000 pages, which is a 2-parter from the Cinder situation, to now this, which is 6 pages. So, bless the fucking Lord. But yeah, let's not waste any more time. Hello to the ladies of the VenusGuard team and VenusGuard supporters. I don't want to have to do this, but I have a very unfortunate message that I'm sadly entirely done working with VenusGuard. I really believed in a product like this, and I feel as though that was used against me. That makes sense. I mean, like I said, it's a huge self-report in the owner's values, or I guess the co-owner's values, because to my understanding, VenusGuard is owned by 2 different people, and the guy that ran it was sexually harassing his employees. Pretty insane stuff. I wouldn't quit under any other circumstance except for this internal corruption alone, so please know I do not say any of this lightly. I have been through severe distress, and that has been building in 8 months I have been working with Vince. It has been exponentially worse for the past 2 months. Sonnet, the original inventor of the product, has also sent Vince a cease and desist. I'm seceding because I don't know her side of the story, but I do know mine. He has insistently tried to convince me that she is either too old to work on it or that she has given up. He recently said she wasn't interested anymore and that her daughter just wants money. He has never arranged for me to speak with her, despite my asking multiple times. I'm sure Vince plans to keep going. He really shouldn't. I was the face of VenusGuard and supported the idea with a major passion. I'm done, only because I can't believe in that man at all now. Well, that explains why the VenusGuard brand is completely in, like, shambles, because, you know, if what she is saying is true, where she is the face of VenusGuard, then there's no fucking brand. There's nothing there. It's a huge blow. Just before I quit, he admitted to me that he's been using funds in the fundraiser to pay for lawyer's advice on the cease and desist that was sent to him by the woman who is the original inventor. I don't know if that's necessarily is that necessarily a bad thing? I guess from a business POV, maybe there's like a breach or like a violation there, but if you're the co-owner, I don't know. I guess the only, like, thing that I guess that comes to mind is the, if the co-owner is okay with it. If the co-owner has no idea about it, then that's even more shitty. That's what I would, I guess, come to understand. Not that I particularly have any charity or sympathy to this guy, because he's a fucking piece of shit. I feel truly blindsided, as though he was targeting survivors of rape. and that he definitely was playing a character of good/safe guy beforehand. Please understand that I have caught these behaviors as soon as I possibly could. He purposely withheld a lot of information from me. On top of the stress that this type of work could inherently bring, I could not have possibly planned to feel as disappointed and frankly disgusted as I am by Vince. I could handle anything, but these are unforgivable behaviors on his behalf. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, he doesn't particularly seem like a good person. His name on the most recent patent, and he has apparently filed for LLC on the name VenusGuard, but is still pending. He is the only one with access to the roundabout $104,000 and the 123,000 followers that I helped him raise in 2 months. I've literally put hundreds of hours of my time on such a serious project. Sometimes I have to stop because the research is too dark, and it reminds me. Sometimes after recording video, I am left thinking about rape for the rest of the entire day. I keep writing though. I have the fervor of 1,000 suns to teach consent education. The things people do to fucking sacrifice for their job, man. The things people do. Just imagine what, like, police are going through every single fucking day. You know, when they're constantly seeing murders and they're constantly seeing rape every single day and they're constantly exposed to dark topics. It gets to you after a while. You get fucking desensitized to it. I really don't deserve these circumstances I'm about to explain, considering the amount of intensive work I've done for absolutely free out of the passion in my own heart. I feel as though I, myself as a person, my voice, and my image have been abused here, and yes, it is horribly ironic. Even more gravely than abuse itself, this means to me that this man has moral flaws that makes this unethical to pursue with him. I am in the most disappointment and absolute shock of his behavior. It seems impossible, and I'm still barely processing all of it. There's still many behaviors that have bothered me, and since this relationship was entirely digital, pretty much all the messages are recorded. Here is a list that doesn't even cover everything that has concerned me, starting with the most egregious. Straight up abuse plus harassment. Vincent sent me a porn video almost exactly 1 month ago. It is extremely graphic and for the last 15 seconds. And lasts for 15 seconds, excuse me. We saw this already. I think we saw this in the proof. I can't show it in a YouTube video for obvious reasons. I think he was trying to make a joke, but nothing was funny. I couldn't even wrap my head around this. Hey, you know, sometimes we all just send a little goofy porn video of a little bit of a fingering of ourselves. Sorry. That was probably a little inappropriate, given the context of this. I mean, yeah, it does seem unwanted. It would be like a form of sexual harassment. I do hours on hours of sexual assault prevention, writing, and educational content, and I do this for the business benefit of this man. The fact that he thought it was okay to send a known 24-year-old rape survivor over 40 years his junior a random porn video is insanity. So, this is the part of the document that is going to make me roll my eyes a little bit. He seems like the more wrong one in this situation. I think his behavior is inappropriate, and it's unprofessional as an owner. This is not the way you should be talking to your employees. I think his behavior is inappropriate. That being said, I feel like the whole, I'm 24 years old and he's over 40, I roll my eyes every time I see this shit. When people fucking include this in their exposés and their document, I'm just like, come the fuck on. Like, you're a legal adult. Like, your age doesn't fucking matter in this situation. Like, like, who cares? Whatever. I'm not going to harp on it too much because, like, that's not really the point of this document. But it just kind of makes me roll my eyes when I see stuff like this. He knows that is wrong, so I'm still processing how horrible it is that he did it. The context was that the video of the nude woman would be me. I told him it was my partner's birthday, and Vince sent me a video of a fully, completely naked woman rubbing cake all over her genitals. Well, you know, the best way to get somebody to cheat on their partner is by sending them a porn video of rubbing cake on their genitals. That's the best way to get somebody to cheat on their partner. That'll totally do it. This Vince guy sounds like he has a lot of riz. Sorry. I gotta be a little more serious. This is clearly not a this is clearly inappropriate. What's happening here? There is no way he doesn't know that is not okay to do. I'm sure he knows that not only is it disgustingly unprofessional, he knows that is sexual harassment. There is no amount of apologizing that undoes this. It is not a mistake that a worthwhile man who is supposedly working in consent awareness would make. I am still so shocked and ashamed of this, ashamed on his behalf. I did so much of this company And to have that sent to me, and have all of this come shattering in a strange and stupid moment by this man. When I clicked play on the clip, I felt so incredibly violated, my heart dropped. I mean, I guess it's, like, a worst-case scenario, it's jarring, but, violated? I don't know, I mean, like, yeah, like, you're a sexual assault survivor, and that, like, sucks, obviously, like, that's terrible that you went through that, that's a really horrific thing to go through, but, like, I don't know, violated because you got sent a fucking porn video? I don't know, like, maybe it's jarring because it's your boss that's sending you this, but, like, violated? I don't know. Now I'm getting to a point where, like, obviously I was on her side for the most part in this situation, but now I'm getting a little bit, like, there's bits and parts of this, like, story that I feel like she's sensationalizing just a little bit, that she's hyping up. I don't know. Either she's hyping it up on purpose, or she's being told by, like, friends that she's talked to about this, because I imagine she vented to this to a couple of people before going public about it, where all of a sudden now her friends, or I guess the people that she's talking to, are like, oh my god, you went through, like, a horrific traumatic thing, and then she got, like, a secondhand trauma from that, and then, like, in hindsight, now she sees it as, like, a traumatic thing. That's more than likely what probably happened than, like, lying here, because I don't think she's, like, intentionally lying here. I think that she is generally credible with her information, but, like, there are bits and pieces of it that feels a little bit, you know, like, we're not really meeting the situation where it's at. I think what happened is inappropriate. Extremely inappropriate and unprofessional. That's justified saying that. Violated, though, that, like, to me, it makes it sound like you experienced, like, a sexual assault from this guy, which doesn't seem to be the case. We're not at that level quite yet. It is so graphic. Nothing at all I had ever said to Vince insinuated that I would even think that was remotely okay. I don't know why he has that kind of stuff saved to send to people. That is a good question, actually. Why do you have porn saved on your fucking phone? Do you, like, wait to get, like, a bunch of women employees and then you just send that shit to them when you think you have a chance or something? Is that why you maybe hire, like, women only? Because I could be wrong, but didn't they say earlier that he hires women only? I could be totally wrong on that. Maybe that's, like, incorrect. But I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I would imagine that more women would work for you in a branding company like this than men would. Not that men can't work for you. I'd let anyone read the entire chat between us just to see how ridiculous this was. I am not naive to men who behave like this. This was his first time trying to see how far he could push my boundaries. That's probably true. Like, him sending porn to you and him, like, opening up sexual conversation, that probably was, like, a boundary tester. He was trying to, like, hit on her. Like, I don't see why, there's no other reason why he wouldn't send porn unless he thought it was, like, funny or something. Because I know there are, like, edgy people that send porn to each other as a joke, which, you know, obviously stupid and immature, but it doesn't seem to be the intention. Like, the joke doesn't seem to be the intention here. I feel like he was doing it to try to be like, hey, this is you. Does this turn you on? Like, that seems to be, like, his intention here. This is not the only incident. This is really just the breaking point. This was my starkest realization that his input on this project will be completely inappropriate. I believe that he would never do something like this, but he did. I am still not okay from this level of betrayal. If this is forwarded to him, Vince, if you thought that it was funny, it wasn't. It's sick. Why would you do that? My whole unpaid job, putting money into your bank account, is about surviving non-consensual sex. So we still don't know fully if she agreed to it being unpaid. Like, if there was, like, a whole, like, waiver, or if there was, like, a whole set of papers that said, hey, this is unpaid work, and you agreed to it, then I don't really care about the unpaid part as much if you agreed to it in the beginning. That's still information she hasn't shown to us, which is a little bit interesting, to say the least. You even know that I was conceived of rape. You know that it's weird in any context. You had to know I wouldn't put up with that. You know that it's inappropriate, but you want to push the boundary. This is what made me entirely retreat. 10 days after he sent me porn for the first and last time, he raised his voice at me for the first and last time. I did nothing to deserve this. I did not at all raise my voice or even entice him. I'm always professional when it comes to any serious conversation, and as a rule for my own moral code, I never engage in this type of arguing because it solves nothing. I actually do regulate my emotions, mind, and body like an adult. He apologizes later by saying, I don't want you to think I'm mad at you. He was raising his voice at me, cussing and yelling. This came because I told him that some of his comments were victim blaming and that other people on the team thought so too. He then used me as an emotional punching bag. Yeah, just imagine if you actually, like, dated this guy or something. Like, situations like this is why most companies, or a lot of companies, have a policy where you are not allowed to date at the workplace. This is why. Because you have situations where, like, even if they try to make a move on you, like, when they try to make a move on you, whether it's sexually or romantically, and you reject them, or you reject the idea of it, and then they either start yelling at you, or there's like an awkward silence and he doesn't talk to you as much, or the energy shifts between you two, then you're never really going to know if your rejection caused that or not. This is why you just don't engage with that sort of behavior at the workplace to begin with. Like, love at the workplace is like, you never do it. It's always a no-go. For the past month, he has been racing me to make more money than him. I felt disrespected and underappreciated for hundreds of hours of mentally strenuous unpaid work that I did. In these recent weeks, his nagging for me to make him money faster did not stop. I did a 2-hour-long Zoom call with my team of women and him on the precise topic of my plan, including a visual presentation about how to keep the fundraiser up. He called me immediately after and told me that I droned on for too long and that I need to make my sentences shorter. Then, the next week, after I guess ignoring myself and the other women for talking for hours, he asked me, "What's your plan to make money faster?" Abusing my voice, abusing my likeness, and inappropriately using the media for my image. I'm not trying to be that guy, okay? Like, I am more on the woman's side here, like the woman writing this, than the guy's side, okay? I'm more on her side, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but this isn't really, like, I'm not seeing abuse. Toxic for sure, but not abuse. There's a difference, okay? I know you guys are going to think I'm playing semantics over this, but there is a difference between toxic and abuse. Toxic is like, he is creating an environment where, you know, it's competitive. He's trying to create competition when it's unnecessary. He's trying to find ways to do better than her and stuff like that. It's obviously, like, the way he's engaging with this is toxic. Abuse would be, like, I don't know, like fucking yelling at you, I guess, which technically I guess he did do towards the end. So maybe, I guess, if you want to say abusive, maybe towards the end, I suppose. But I'm not really seeing abuse from this situation. He's just creating, like, a super fucking toxic work environment. And I understand completely parting ways with him. Like, she's completely justified in quitting her job with this guy. Like, he's a total fucking loser. My face was the only one on the VenusGuard accounts, for every single reason being that I'm the only person who made video content so far. I was even building up a team that he would eventually cruelly critique before we could even take off. Vince and I had multiple agreements since I wrote up presentation of the social media campaign that the brand tone would be done from a woman's perspective. We also agreed to not liking and commenting on personal posts from the VenusGuard official page. Fair enough, I guess. Just keeping it professional. My face has been the only one on it for months, but he still won't stop liking and commenting on personal, irrelevant, sometimes disturbing content. No woman would appreciate any of the comments he's making, but it's particularly stressful that it looks to potentially millions of viewers like it's coming from me alone. I have so much proof that we agreed to not like and comment on personal content, and I have made the conscious effort to not do this myself. He continually lied to me and even told me that professionalism wasn't that important for social media. The comments and likes he made are outrageous. I just checked the likes and he does on the account, and what sent me over the edge today was that he liked multiple white nationalist, racist-driven posts. That makes sense. I mean, he was resharing posts from some weird anti-woke British guy, so that doesn't surprise me too much. That's believable. It even says things like, white men aren't committing these rapes, and I don't owe anyone anything because I'm white. I'm proud to be white. Ugh, okay, this guy's cringe. Everyone can see that our page has liked that, and millions of people could think that is coming from me. I would never in my life subscribe to anything remotely close to this stuff. I'm scared after seeing this. This has been the utmost disturbingly stressful situation to deal with, and I cannot work with him at all further. This is one of these kinds of posts. One of many. These are just small examples of what I have now discovered was a long-running trend. He has actively tried to cover up that he has dishonorable political beliefs because he knew I wouldn't accept anything like this. On top of the likes, I just found the comments Vince makes are unprofessional, have horrible tone, the majority have grammatical or spacing errors, and sometimes are even straight up victim blaming. He has done this on posts of my own acquaintances in the space of female violence violence prevention. When I told him about this, he ignored me multiple times. Then after my major stress about this situation, he insisted that my views weren't making him enough money, so he was allowed to comment where he wanted. 100% of the graphics and 100% of the videos on the account were mine, by my design, because he was not capable of doing the work well. The stress of having people think that these are highly inappropriate comments are me is unbelievable. I would never say any of the things that he does. Yeah, okay, you've already made that clear earlier. You don't need to repeat yourself like 3 times. Like, I know you're trying to stress it because the situation is stressing you out, but, like, relax a little bit. Like, we get it. You don't subscribe to it, he does. Like, we've seen the proof that he does, all right? Like, I believe you. You're believable. So here is the worst example that he continually ignored me about. This happened a bit over a month ago. A woman whose content I was already familiar with before posted the police body cam video of the night she was raped. This lady was sleeping in her own home where she lived alone. The door was locked. Vince commented, "This is why we made VenusGuard. Stop SA. Cripples the attacker." Okay, so that's inappropriate for sure. Like, there's a time and a place to market your product, but, like, commenting on a police body cam footage to do self-promo, that's inappropriate. 100%. A very common theme we're seeing with this Vince person, this guy who owns this product, is that he has a huge pattern of behavior of just not knowing how to professionally run a business. This is the same criticism I get. I literally not that long ago was covering a story about a coffee chain in New York called Poetica. And the reason why none of their stores are even open anymore, at least for now, well, one, because they're under investigation by the DOJ, which I think is disproportionate. I have a whole video on it if you guys want to know more about it. But two, they are fucking... It's just that Poetica's huge issue is that they suck at optics. Like, they should not have made that Instagram post about that Dan Goldman person or whatever. Like, they shouldn't have fucking made the Instagram post about him, because that's what got them in hot water to begin with, right? It's fine to support Palestine, and you should support Palestine, especially considering that Israel is illegally occupying territory on the West Bank, and they are genociding Palestinians, so you should call out Israel's war crimes 100%. But, like, they need to care about their optics better from a business POV. And that's the same problem that this guy has, is that he's just so inappropriate and he clearly doesn't know how to fucking run a business. I would argue that he's even more egregious than the owner of Poetica was. We agreed that we would not insinuate that women need to wear them. The majority of this video in the context is of this woman telling her own story between grievous sobs. Yeah, it's just inappropriate to comment something like that. It's disgusting. VenusGuard does not need to be promoted in this way. He refused to take this criticism, even in the most professional of wording, and just yelled at me instead. He said, quote, "Her video was comically sad." Comically sad? That's insane. Did you even watch it? I did watch it many times. Describing a sexual assault as comically sad, this is not a man who cares about sexual assault, just to be absolutely clear. Like, that, it is clearly, like, it's abundantly clear that the whole, like, protecting sexual assault thing, that's a front for him to do whatever the fuck he can. Like, what I think needs to happen is if he co-owns this with another woman, he needs to step down. He needs to step down and either let this woman take over or let somebody else take over for this product. Because clearly, he's just insanely bad for their business. Like, especially now that this is public. Like, he needs to step the fuck down. Insulting and silencing women within this community. He now has a track record of insulting or ignoring the opinions of strong-willed women, especially the opinions of older women closer in age to him. He called a potential team member horrific names, insulted her disgustingly. Okay, you know what? I take it back. This is abuse. Like beforehand, like with the whole fucking like toxic work environment, I was like, are we sure this is abuse? But now that he's like actually insulting the shit out of her, now he's actually like doing all this shit, I'm like, okay, yeah, I take it back. This guy is abusive. My bad. I will take the L when I can. You know, I changed my opinion very quickly there. Fair enough. He called a potential team member horrific names, insulted her disgustingly, in ways I find it hard to even repeat. For her input about his comments being inappropriate. He has never arranged a call with Sonnet and I, and consistently kept me in the dark. He has badmouthed her, and has tried to influence me that she is only doing this for the money. He did not even explicitly tell me that she was uncomfortable with anything, until many, many months after I was involved in the project. Since then, he has insulted my work, insulting me that I'm not making the money fast enough, and saying that what I'm doing isn't working anymore. He began aggressively nagging that donations were down from the first month. He is ignoring my points that he is victim blaming, saying things like, "You're the only face on the account, because you can't find anyone else to do it." This is after crudely insulting wise women who volunteered to help. Many women volunteered to make content, but he would point out why he was afraid of them calling him out. He insulted wise, highly reputational women to a degree that I don't even want to type out. This disgusted and disturbed me more than anything. It was blatant sexism. This guy clearly... Like, I'm not trying to be, like, disproportionate. I'm just gonna be so fucking real. If this guy could get away with raping a girl, he would. I'm just gonna be fucking for... Based on everything I'm hearing and based on everything that I'm seeing, this is the kind of guy that would get away with drugging and raping a girl. If he could get away with it. Like, he likes red-pilled content online. He subscribes to white supremacist beliefs. He's, like, an anti-woke person. Highly hates women. Very clearly so. This guy, like, legitimately is the kind of person that would get away with raping a fucking girl. When I asked him if he thought Trump was a rapist, he took the stance of, there's no proof. You don't know your facts. Well, he lost the civil case with E. Jean Carroll. And also, it was leaked. Fucking, what was his name? Mark Lowe? Is that his name? I forget his name. Ted Lowe. That's the politician's name. The Democratic politician who said that he had read a lot of the Epstein files unredacted himself, and he said that there are disturbing allegations of Donald Trump in the Epstein files. His name appears over thousands of times, and there are allegations of him fucking not only raping children, but he was threatening to murder them as well. You know? Now, you could say, oh, but that's not proof. It's a Democratic politician speaking up about it. Okay, then Trump should release the Epstein client list to disprove it. Why won't he do that? Oh, I wonder why he won't. The guy who ran his presidency off releasing the Epstein files, and now he won't do it now that he's in office. Vince has made strange comments about sexism towards men. This context being that he gets extremely defensive when comments ask about the GoFundMe that is owned by a man. I'm so tired of pretending I don't want to see through it anymore. I so badly wanted this product to become available to the public that I was trusting the character of the man that would oversee it, but then again, he did a good job of masking his worst behavior for a long time. The buildup of aggression is a textbook example of abuse situations, and I've been through situations like this to know that he is, at the very least, not eligible to be Mr. President of the Women's Safety Club. That's true. I agree with that. I can't let go of this. I can't let this go on any further with my personal involvement. I am sure he doesn't see himself this way, and he will act extremely offended. I'm sure he will. He sounds like a piece of shit. I am sure his psychology will read this as some way to protect himself, but I definitely won't. I don't care how he individually will react, and I don't know what he will do with the name. I have receipts, in screenshots, recordings, of proof of almost everything that I mentioned. There is no denying the pornography he sent me. Yep, we saw that already earlier. Under his authority and the personal frequency that he brings to the project, sales will inevitably be unethical. What a sad thing it has been to admit to myself. Alright, and then in this document, there's an update as of June 30th, 2026. I had a conversation with Sonnet's family. Is Sonnet the second co-owner? To my understanding, is that who she is? Let's look. Alright, I have no idea who Sonnet is. I tried looking back on her Instagram, and I scrolled through her video to see if maybe Sonnet was the co-owner. I guess not. I don't know who Sonnet is, so that's just an unknown character to us for now. Information from her has made it more clear that Vincent has flat out lied to me on more subjects than I can count, and withheld details of his involvement and behavior that feels entirely scammed. What I can share now is that this has been escalated severely, and we will take this step one at a time. His behavior with me is apparently not the first time that he has engaged in sexual harassment in this context alone, relating to the anti-rape device patent. He lied to me and withheld so much important information regarding Sonnet's wishes, his relationship with her, and he never told me that she told him to stop working on it. He framed the situation as though she was too old to work and that she had given up. Oh, so it is the other coworker. She's too old to work. Yeah, it has to be the other coworker. Or the co-owner, excuse me. Then when people started to speak out, he told me that the only reason she didn't like a VenusGuard was because of the name change. In reality, it has far more to do with him as a person, and he never even had her permission to change the name of anything. I could barely count the amount of incongruencies he fed to me. But the worst lie that sticks out to me is that he said that over 500 women have tried this product, and Sonnet's team says that isn't true. I asked Vincent to connect with me to do some of these 500 women several times, but he never made it to the top of his to-do list. He never connected with me to a single one of them. He did make me an interview himself and another man about their penises and their experiences trying the device on. That's insane, dude. Bro, this guy, like, is an actual... Like, not only is this guy abusive, but he kind of just sounds like a fraudulent fuck. He just sounds like a total loser. What does this guy look like? His name is Vincent? Hold on. This is the man we're looking at, by the way. This is him. This is the CEO of VenusGuard. This is the owner of VenusGuard that we're looking at. Wow. Oh my god, dude. You know, if you told me that this guy slipped something in a girl's drink... I would believe you. I wouldn't trust my fucking daughter around this guy. This guy seems like an insanely concerning individual. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Sonnet and her team explicitly cut him off from working on her patent years ago. The agreements they had made apparently bar him from being on the patent if he didn't make a market-ready product within a year. He was not able to do that and held onto the fundraising under the guise of excuses. He absolutely took advantage of the kindness and empathy of an elderly woman and her invitation. The Rape Axe website, yeah, I think we saw that. There was like a Rape Axe website. I don't know if I feel comfortable fucking going to it, though. I don't know. And that I found, because I wanted to volunteer to help, had an About Us section with both Sonnet and himself featured on it. Apparently, he had already locked Sonnet out of this website, which means he would have been impersonating and using her image to his benefit, like he did with me, too. Okay, that adds more credibility to that claim earlier, then. We all suspect that he was using the funds in other inappropriate ways, on top of him admitting to using the funds for lawyers in the case coming from the original inventor, Sonnet. So where is this Rape Axe website? Hold on. Alright, I went to their website. I cannot show any of the content on the website because there is like a dildo demonstration, so I obviously cannot show that in a fucking YouTube video. Yeah, that's pretty... Okay. I can't see her in the About Me, but I assume ever since this came out, he's been, like, deleting and taking down stuff as much as possible. I mean, the official Rape Axe Instagram is no longer up. There's, like, an Instagram link on their website, and I tried to click it, and it says this Instagram page is no longer up. For years, rumors circled the internet that Rape Axe couldn't come to market because men didn't like it, and insinuated that somehow male legislators prevented the manufacturing. When I first came across a post that introduced me to the concept, a random creator claimed the same thing. However, men as a whole can't prevent the design, a production, and sale of a plastic defense tool. In the strangest turn of events, it looks to me as though this one predatory man alone has kept the public from being able to access a rape tagging device. If you speak to him, of course he's going to try to prove that he does want the product to exist. Of course he'd say this. He would be at major financial gain if he could make it work, but he couldn't stop being a predator even if it would make him rich. It could never work with his insecure mind and subconscious behind it. He effectively stole a bunch of women's intellectual property, so by the conclusion of his morals alone, he definitely doesn't know how to properly relate a business like this to the public. I agree with that, 100%. This guy is fucking shady as shit, dude. Well, that's the end of the Google document. There is more to look at. This woman, Cope Conscious, is who we're going to refer to her as. She posted some Instagram stories, and, listen, I was surprised that this video went as deep as it did. I was expecting to watch the Instagram short and be done with it, but there is just so much more to this story than just a fucking Instagram reel. And I don't know, man. That's, like, suddenly we're just, like, invested. We're sucked into the story now. Sometimes publicly sharing evidence can make it inadmissible, not usable in court. Oh, this is going to a court case now. This is going to this is going to go to a court of law now. I mean, I guess that was the insinuation towards the end of the Google Doc, I believe. I mean, she never really, like, explicitly said that it was going to be a court case, but I guess that was the implication from what she was saying earlier. What I want to post should be fine. However, I just really need to make sure. What I'm getting access to today could take his whole thing down, and I can't compromise that. Y'all, he lied to me. Like, straight the fuck up lied to about so much and told me he was in contact with Sonnet. She hired him to design the product, so it's not like he's just some random. He used her photo on the website and she couldn't even log into to try and make money without her. Him. She doesn't want anything to do with VenusGuard. It must be a name change. I don't understand it. Me. Can you ask her if she is willing to speak to me or the other women on the team? I'm sure we can solve this. We would really like to work with her. Okay, I'll see what I can do. And then he probably doesn't set anything up, right? He doesn't set anything up, and then I ask him practically every week or 2 weeks for the past 2 months. Yep. And he just never does because he doesn't want to get around to it. Saying she's not fit to work anymore and that it's too stressful for her. Like, I'm under the impression they're talking, and he's telling me he would like to set a phone call between us, like I asked several times, but it's okay because I finally got a hold of Sonnet on my own. Alright, so there's more. I guess this was uploaded like an hour ago as of the time you're recording this, so I guess we're gonna, like, watch her Instagram story updates. No more baiting rape survivors to send them porn, Vincent. Yep.
I'm working on making an update video for everybody. There is a ton of information that I have to go through, but if I could just tell anybody who donated or who made a video themselves, I keep saying this to myself, you know, when people mess with you, you'll be like, I'm not the one. And then I'm like, maybe I am the one, because I'm really glad that he tried me.
Got a little bit of a main character syndrome there, girly pop. I mean, obviously she's more correct in the situation than Vincent is. This guy's a fucking loser, totally, like, completely. He's like an actual piece of shit, and I'm glad she's not working for him anymore, but, you know, there are definitely bits and parts of this where she's kind of like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I probably shouldn't read too deep into her. Like, she is pretty credible from a lot of the information we're seeing.
And that he underestimated the fact that I will call him the fuck out. So, this is actually a great thing, so that he cannot continue doing this to other people. He cannot continue to silence a revolutionary elderly woman, so that I can actually make sure that he receives what he deserves. It's funny. It's ironic that he would choose to pick a fight with me. Because he knows that okay. I can't even begin.
Sorry about that. It seems like the story just abruptly ended there. On to this next story, I guess. We'll just keep going.
And to explain to you how terrible the sensation was when he sent me pornography.
This is the one part of the story that I kind of just go like, I mean, I guess maybe, like, listen, I am blessed to not be a survivor of sexual assault, because that is a very horrific thing to go through. So I guess maybe from the perspective of a sexual assault survivor, maybe it would be different compared to someone like me. Maybe it's also because I'm just so desensitized because I've also seen a lot of fucked up shit in my life. So maybe I just have a different interaction with it than she does. I don't really know if it's like, I guess like a terrible sensation. Like it doesn't really feel like it's inappropriate, you know, like that's what I'm saying. I just don't know if it's like as violating as she's describing it, but maybe I just don't understand it from her perspective. I don't know.
Mind you, I did something about that as soon as I possibly could. I'm on the way to the gym. I open my phone, I check my phone, and I'm like, my body. Not just because he sent me porn and the porn was disgusting, but I read this message that he sends me and I click this video. I'm like, he just destroyed everything. All of this work that I had done. This building, it was creative work.
Well, I think that's probably the part that upset her more than the actual porn itself. I think maybe from that perspective, I could actually believe that more. Because you're like, oh my god, this literally feels like the end of my job because I'm working for a disgusting person. And so that could leave her in shock. That is more believable than like seeing porn itself and then your soul leaving your body. Because that seemed to be the insinuation beforehand. And I was just like, I don't know about that necessarily. I feel like tons of people have seen porn online, haven't shat their pants over it too hard. But it's certainly inappropriate. I mean, I'm not saying that it's right for him to do. Like, what he's doing is, it's inappropriate as fuck. And this guy clearly doesn't know how to run a business whatsoever. And he doesn't care about professionalism or optics in any meaningful way. And so I don't really feel bad for the guy in this situation. Vincent is his name.
It was writing.
You know, I had somebody tell me that Vincent is the kind of name that somebody would have where you would touch somebody where you shouldn't. And, well, he's certainly not beating the stereotype of that guy, I guess.
On the most vulnerable possible subjects you could imagine. And he just... I was like, oh, so you are not the person that you've said that you were? Because this is crazy.
It certainly is crazy. And that seems to be where it ends for the time being. I guess, like, the insinuation is that she is gonna go to a court of law with this information, and that she is gonna, you know, this is gonna become a legal matter between her and Vincent, and I guess, like, the whole VenusGuard brand as a whole. And if there's anything interesting to talk about from here, I guess we'll keep an eye on it, but as far as we know, that's where the story ends for the time being. What a crazy fucking situation. Hopefully VenusGuard keeps going and Vincent is not attached to it in any meaningful way, because I think the product has potential, but he is a completely gross individual that should not be behind the product in any way.